Hello, hello, hello. This is Adrienne. Let me back up a little, just ahead in the thing here. I wanted to come and make this video, and I guess this is in almost like an attachment to a video I made several days ago, and that is called Full Moon Opposed Venus, August 15th, 2019. How will your sign be effective? And you can find that on YouTube. It is up already. I made that several days ago. And so I wanted to share my personal experiences, as well as invite some of you guys who are within the sound of this video to share your personal experiences about how this has affected your love, your relationships, and partnerships and things of that nature. Because we're dealing with Leo and Aquarius opposing each other. And there's a lot of Leo right now. And I don't know how much you personally know about Leo, but Leo is the sign of the lover. And if you've ever watched any of the Discovery Channel, Leos are the ones that are just going around mating with all the lionesses. You know, the lions that just go around, find a lioness and hit her up. That's what they do. And so I understand that portion of the Leo persona. So I've had a lot of things go on over the last few days, and please bear with me. My makeup is not that great. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I literally woke out of bed. I haven't even showered yet. I just ran out here to come make this video because it's on my heart. I want to say it, and I feel like if I don't say it quickly, I'll lose what's in my mind. So over the last days, what's been going on? So, okay. So I found out a couple of things. Let me uncross my arms because that's not like the right stance. Literally, you guys, I'm serious. This is like my lounge outfit on. I literally have not showered yet. I just ran out here to tell this story. I couldn't keep it to myself. So I think it was either yesterday afternoon or day before. After, I would say, over a month of no contact, I had gotten a message from my ex, or soon-to-be ex, who had forgotten my address and was, I guess, sending documents that he signed for our divorce. And, that is pretty devastating in and of itself. And I realized that I had gotten to a place where I could just say, okay, honey, here's the address. Like, okay. Like, I loved you. I married you. I still wear my ring. It's coming off a little, but I mean, not the band, but I wear this at least. But that's what he wants. That's the life he's going in. I'm no control of that life. I have my own life to worry about and my own happiness to worry about. And I guess that's what he's doing, is worrying about his own happiness. So I've come to this realization, and I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not going to stop anyone or block anyone else's happiness. He's got happiness with someone else. All right. He's got happiness somewhere else. Okay. Thinks his happiness is not with me. All right. Because I'm looking for the person that does want to be with me, that does vibrate with me, that is anxious to love me, that isn't trying to get away from me, that is being pulled toward me because they feel similarly to as I feel. And coming to that reality that that is what love is. That's how you get love. That's how you avoid the bad ones. Like if someone's giving you bad vibes and they're coming off at you negatively, well, that's not the one you want to be with, because you're not trying to be in the negative vibe. You're trying to be in the positive vibe. And I feel like I remember there was a point in our relationship because he liked to pull me down into this abyss of darkness. I don't know what that was. Like if I got too happy or too excited, this urge to just like pull me down was always there. And I realized he had Saturn in Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn, and most likely that urge was built from that. But that, you know, when you feel that someone's trying to pull down your joy or pull it away or stop it or thwart it or whatever, then you need to give away. And it's even if you love the person. And maybe he felt that too. He felt that, whatever that was. Because I remember once he was doing something and I had said, look, don't take me to that place. I explained to him about my childhood, how I had been born in Camden, raised in the gutter in Baltimore, taken back to Camden, put into foster homes. And it wasn't for my grandmother, who knows where I would be. So it's like, don't take me to that place where the base nature comes out, because that's a guttural kid who came out of the garbage. I know who I be and I know who I am. And you know what I mean? I'm aware of this part of my persona. And so, but it was one of those things. It was almost like he couldn't help himself. It was, and me too. I wasn't wise enough back then. I was easily triggered. It's easy to trigger me and get me, you know, play with my emotions. And I remember once, I forget what it was, but we were all on, I wasn't actually in England, but I think it was like Thanksgiving or Christmas. And he just had it where, you know, I guess I was ahead, like I am right now, max headroom, right? And there was like a family gathering going on at his mother's, and his mother had called out to him, and he was like, hold on, Mom, I'm just taking the piss out of Adrienne. And I keep thinking to myself, if you loved your wife, why would you want to hurt her? So, you know, there is this moment that I remember when he said, I don't love you. And that's the moment I hang on to. And that's the moment I haven't forgotten. And when I get weak, or if I think there's any hope or anything, I go back to that moment when he said, I do not love you. Because I think that was a moment of clarity for him when he realized he really didn't love me. And I think that was the moment I realized he didn't love me too. So I wanted to come and talk about this weirdness of the relationships and love and all of that. And like I said, there is a video I made so that each of you can look at how this moon of opposing Venus might affect you on a personal level. But I just thought it was strange that over the course of the last few days, I've been approached by several, including, like I said, my ex, and getting to that point of understanding what it is that I'm going to need in order to feel safe. Because for me, okay, I'm going to tell you this scenario, because I think for me, especially with a Taurus moon and being a Capricorn, and I have Saturn in in Aquarius by birth, and it's in my first house. So this whole full moon is happening right in my first house. By the way, the moon right now, and as I talk, is on my Saturn in my first house, on making its way toward that, you know, conjunction or opposition to the sun at 21 degrees. So, wow. The thing about love that I found is that, now I've forgotten what I was going to say. I started running my mouth. See, that's why I would record it so I don't forget it. Now, let me just remember what it was I was saying. Okay, so I'll tell you the scenario, and maybe it'll all come back to me. The point I was trying to make from the beginning, because of this whole situation with the moon opposed Venus. So I had this conversation, and, you know, this one fella who really, he pursued me for the last 10 months. But never got very far because, well, I'm here and he's in St. Louis. And I'm also, as you can well see, recovering from a marriage. I'm still you know, getting out of that. And so I'm not a cheater, I'm not an adulterer, and so I've made no moves toward making anything with anyone permanent on any level. Anyway, but this guy and I became friends. He called a lot, we talked a lot, and we enjoyed laughing and joking and having a good time. We seemed to be on the very same wavelength, and it was kind of cool. I did realize that over the course of time that the guy was a narcissist. And he had told me, even his mother told him that. But he had this propensity for bringing women into his home and then, you know, dumping them and then putting their stuff out on the street. And, you know, a couple of months later, it'd be another one. Well, it had gotten to the point where I think it was near his birthday in July. He was parading around other women going out. And I just send him money because he said he didn't have anything, or send him a birthday present. And I realized, oh my God, I got to stop. This is not right. Either I'm like, I don't know what, I mean, I guess I'm a friend, maybe, but I was more of a transaction. I was just one of the many transactions. Now, when you start to see that, and it's not that maybe he does care. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but I felt like I was being treated like I was one of many transactions. Just one of the many choices and transactions or supply that's available. And it's not, I'm not going to say anything mean about that, because that's how that person lives. That's how they survive. That's their reality. He likes having supply. I'm not going to block that. Maybe that's what happened with my husband. Maybe he found out he liked having supply too. And what I mean by that is some people like having a string of people on a, you know, that they can go screw whenever they feel like it or get their emotional fulfillment from. And for me, I was done. Good. I am not someone's supply, and I need someone whose attention is on me, not on Shirley and Janet and Joan and whoever else. I've said this in many videos because I've seen what I don't want. And it's hard because I tried to explain this to him in a way so he understood. It is not a reflection on, you know, do I like him? Yes. Is he my little leprechaun? Yes. I love this guy. I think he's so fun, but I can't date him. It would be devastating to me. I would never be able to feel secure. And I need someone who's going to put my safety and my security first. That's what love is. You're putting your needs at least on par with someone else's, I guess. That's part of empathy and compassion and all of that. But you can't move closer to me when you're building relationships with other women, and especially sex. Because there is and this is why I started out with Leo the Lion. There is this thing that occurs when people are sexually active that does not occur when you're emotionally connected. An emotional connection is cool. It's a good building block or foundation for a relationship. Is it a strong enough foundation to build an entire relationship? I think not. So whoever is getting the sex is getting the, you know, the prime love. It gets the bulk of the affection, the love. That's what they call their prime source. And everyone else, it's just, well, you know, you're just supply. So once you see that you're someone's supply and not their prime source, well, it behooves you, if you have any modicum of self-respect, to get the heck out of there. And that's what I did. It was ugly because I don't think he understood why I had to protect myself. But this is called protection. I'm getting out I'm in the midst of a divorce, getting out of a marriage that I thought I'd be in forever, still in love with my husband. Keep that real. I'm in love with my husband, first and foremost. I love Leprechaun as a friend, but I'm in love with my husband. I was in love with him when I married him. I was in love with him the day I told him I deserved better. I was in love with him the moment he said he didn't love me. I still am in love with him now, almost a year later, because you don't just fall out of love if it's real. And that's what I'm talking about. And I feel a little, thing. I feel for, because I feel like with this guy, I call him Leprechaun. I think we could have something beautiful. I really do. I think he might even be my ex-mate. But he's there, I'm here, and he's in something I don't think he's ever even told me. I swear I keep seeing the same woman's face showing up on his page. It means he's in a relationship with someone. And it ain't me. And I'm too busy. See, I don't got time for that. I had to let him know. I don't got time for that. So I had to stop the calls and, all that kind of stuff. Limited, maybe 5-10 minutes. Something like that. I used to talk for hours, 5, 6, 7 hours. Talk me to sleep every night. Can't do that. I'm not doing that. I am a busy woman, first of all. And second, I'm only going to build a bond with someone who's building a bond with me. Right? Don't waste your time. And so I wanted to talk about my own personal situation because this is going to be the moon. That's the emotions, right? That's that deep, raw, emotional stuff. And it's going to be opposing the sun. And the sun is in Leo. And that's big for a lot of people. Because we've got a lot going on in Leo. Venus and Leo, by the way, at this very moment, are conjunct each other. Very moment, they're conjunct. And they are in conjunct with Capricorn at this very moment at 21 degrees. It's quincunx. So, this is no mistake. I'm having this conversation, making this video at this very moment. And by the way, can I let you know that 21 degrees of Leo is 3 degrees off my natal Mars in Leo in the 7th house. This is falling in the 7th house of partnerships, of marriage, of business partnerships, perhaps. But this conversation that I'm having had to be had. Also, I'm noticing as I look down here that the true node is exactly on my midheaven, my ascendant, exactly on my ascendant at this very moment, opposing it. Let me get my mind working. 17 degrees of Capricorn is my ascendant, okay? 17 degrees of Cancer is my descendant, okay? The North Node is at 17 degrees of Cancer, sitting on my descendant, opposing my ascendant, okay? I wanted to set up the scenario, which means the South Node is on my ascendant, right? Okay. So I'm being urged to reach out to other people. I'm being urged to build to figure out what I'm doing with my partnership. I feel like all the emphasis of partnerships is going to dissolve, and all of my emphasis is going to be on relationships if I can't figure out what I'm going to do. I don't know if I've got an actual partner out there or if these are just all enemies. I mean, let's think about this for a second. The sun's going to be in my 7th house, or is. Mercury's in my 7th house. Venus in my 7th house. Mars is in my 7th house. Actually, the true node is just teetering between my 7th and 6th. So, I might think these are partners, or they might look at me, but are they not? Are they real, or are they enemies? And this is where I'm at. This is what's really affecting me right now. And so, let me just stop what I just did. Sorry. I just realized I'm recording. I don't want this to pop up, although, no. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Something popped up and I didn't want to lose it, but I don't want to do it right this moment. Okay, so look, let's look at these planets again. So we're looking at, and by the way, Saturn is sitting at 14 degrees of Capricorn on my sun. I told you I felt really mean. That feeling, because Saturn is very, wow. I had to just put down, just say what it is. You know, and I made I said something somewhere. I think it was on the last video, and someone had commented, and I said, if you're not going to stand up for yourself when Saturn is on your sun and Pluto is on your ascendant, then when the hell are you going to stand up for yourself? Because that is what that's telling me. If you ain't going to cut it to the bone right now, and I made a reference to myself as the Queen of Swords right now, because you know it's just, I'm just cutting it off. Like if it's not for my highest good, if it doesn't feel good, vibrate good, raise up the level of awareness and attainment and or whatever, I gotta cut it loose, because it's all about what is vibing and feeling good. That's going to help me get to the next level in the next stage and get beyond this point where, you know, where it feels like there's daggers in my back, like with my, you know, my husband sending divorce papers and this other guy was jumping on me for a minute. I think he just panicked, but it's just, whoa, I'm going to need time to deal with this when there's not so much emphasis in opposition and enemies and all kind of bad vibes to my relationship. Now, maybe it could be, I could be in love. I mean, it could all just be love, right? Because Leo is the lover, and maybe he just wants to talk love. But my thing is, where does that lead? What will that lead to? The talk of love. And I just realized as I was doing this, not only is the moon, you know, opposed my, or on my Saturn at this moment, but Mercury is opposed my Mercury. Mercury's at 3 degrees of Leo. My Mercury is 3 degrees of Aquarius in my first house. So it could be that it's just about self-preservation right now. I'm just talking in a way or protecting myself through communication because of the obvious fear or threat to self that is sensed by the opposing planets in Leo. So, wow. It's a very interesting look at where the planets are right now. And, you know, stop and ask yourself, where is Leo falling in your chart? And where is Aquarius falling in your chart? Now, I had, if you actually go and look at that video I made about the full moon opposed Venus, which I posted, I believe, on the 9th. So I would go and look that up. I break it down for each and every sign. And I think I actually mentioned the house where this is going to be really culminating. And so you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to affect you, not just the 15th, but remember this full moon vibe is going to be with us over the next 2 weeks. So you're going to be feeling this basically until the 30th or 31st. And then there's going to be a lot of Virgo. Oh my gosh, around the 30th and 31st, it's just going to be this huge stellium in Virgo, which, you know, might be great for Virgos, but I think overall, that means we're going to be so critical. Our critical faculties and analytical faculties are going to be up through the roof. And you might hear some people might be criticizing or nagging. And so we need to be cautious of that. That's coming up at the end of August. So be aware of that. In the meantime, let's look at these 2 weeks of like love. What are we doing with this love? Are we going to be solidifying our love relationships? Are we going to you know, come to some conclusions? Are we going to just have to let them go and turn them into friends? You know, Aquarius, friends. Love or friends, that's what we're looking at now. Are you going to be my lover or are you going to be my friend? And that, I think, may be the theme to this entire scenario that's going on with Leo opposed Aquarius full moon. Are you going to be my lover or are you going to be my friend? If I'm not your lover, if I'm not your friend, tell me, baby. What's that? I'll be sure, right? If I'm not your lover. Oh, where that came out of nowhere. I have to remember. Gotta find that song. That's from back in the day. Anyway, you guys, this has been Adrienne, Capricorntigress of Astrology. Look inside, diving deep and looking inside once more, going into the real issues of love or friendship, right? Love or friend. So we'll figure that out, I'm sure, over the next few days. Are you in love or are you just in friendship? Some people don't want to be in friend zone, so we'll figure out who they are. Anyway, you guys, much love and light. Be sure to follow me here on Facebook. Subscribe, and be sure to hit the little bell down there so that you can get notified when I upload new videos. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/astrology a look inside. And I do free readings at our group at facebook.com/groups/astrology a look inside. And be sure to follow our blog at astrologyalookinside.com. And I'll have lots of other details on how you can find us below. Many, many, many warm wishes and blessings to all of you on this beautiful full moon. Let's figure out if we've got love or friendship in our future. Bye.